In summation, I will have to say that I do consider the Bucks to be the favorite to come out of the East this year, but I don't want to just glorify this team. I actually want to take a minute to remind people that this is not that different than what Kevin Durant did to the Warriors. Now hear me out. I know that Damian Lillard did get traded instead of free agently going to a team, and I do know that the Bucks did not beat the Portland Trail Blazers in an individual series, and then he went to that team. But again, hear me out. So by now, I'm sure you've all heard that the Portland Trail Blazers have traded Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going to pull up the full trade details on the screen because another detail I want a lot of you to focus on is that the Phoenix Suns, which keep in mind now have Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, just got rid of DeAndre Ayton to Portland and acquired Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Yusuf Nurkic. That gives them shooting, defense, and bench depth, which is what the Phoenix Suns badly need. So while I am going to focus on Damian Lillard and the Bucks, I just want people to not completely forget about the Suns. I know we're ready to write them off because they didn't win it all last year, but please, let's keep an eye on them. But back to Damian Lillard and the Bucks. I like the fit. I'm not a huge Damian Lillard fan. Check out my other videos where I kind of get into how I feel like he's not a top 75 player or really a top 5 point guard currently. But I do believe that he's an all-star, and if you guard that shoots with the best driver of the basketball in the NBA, your teams are going to have a problem on their hands. And I like the fact that they kept Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. They had defense, size, length, shooting, and star power now. If I was in the East, I'm not going to lie, I'd be afraid, bro. I'd be afraid. Now, I've heard a lot of people kind of focusing on Jrue Holiday and saying that losing him is going to be really hard on the Milwaukee Bucks. I know I'm going to sound a little off here because I've even seen posts where NBA players are talking about how underrated Jrue Holiday is a player. And I do think he's a good player, but I just don't feel like the Bucks are going to miss him all that much. I mean, you're getting Dame, who's a way better scorer and just as good, if not better, of a playmaker. And you're taking away excess shots that can now go to another star in Dame and give more shots to Giannis, and you're putting the ball in their hands more and taking it out of Jrue Holiday's. Also, Jrue Holiday's biggest factor that he brought to the Bucks was allegedly his defense, and I don't know if y'all were watching the same series I was watching, but Jimmy Butler was talking absolutely crazy to Jrue Holiday every time down the court, telling him how he couldn't guard him, and he couldn't guard him. Like Jrue Holiday, he looked a little shook. And once Jimmy Butler turned up the extra gear to start getting in his face and talking to him, it just looked like he didn't have that next gear. He didn't have a response. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's still a good player, but I'm saying the Bucks have a lot of role players that can step into the area of just being an aggressive defender. In my opinion, 70% of defense is just effort. Just effort. If you can get guys to play hard, that's going to cover up most of what Jrue Holiday took away from the Bucks. So in summation, I will have to say that I do consider the Bucks to be the favorite to come out of the East this year, but I don't want to just glorify this team. I actually want to take a minute to remind people that this is not that different than what Kevin Durant did to the Warriors. Now, hear me out. I know that Damian Lillard did get traded instead of free agently going to a team, and I do know that the Bucks did not beat the Portland Trail Blazers in an individual series, and then he went to that team. But again, hear me out. The Bucks have won a championship without Damian Lillard. The Bucks do have arguably the best player in the NBA, a Defensive Player of the Year, and 2-time MVP on their team. You could also make the case that if Giannis never gets hurt, the Bucks make a championship run at least. They have at least a shot at making a run in the playoffs without Dame. All I'm saying is Kevin Durant has been discredited and vilified in the media to this day for joining the Warriors because they won a championship without him. They were a championship level team without him. And as good as Kevin Durant is, people felt like him joining a team that already had a 2-time MVP and a championship under its belt would just be overkill and unfair. So Like, I'm confused. Kevin Durant, when he went to the Warriors, had the argument that he was just as good as Steph Curry, if not better. He won 2 Finals MVPs. He at least had the argument that he was the best player on the team. No one in basketball circles, no one watching this video thinks Dame is anywhere near as good as Giannis. Is it really that different? So y'all let me know what you think, man. What do you think of this trade? Do you think that the Bucks are pretty much unbeatable now? Do you think that the Celtics may still have their number in the East? Do you think maybe the Nuggets or the Suns or the Lakers or someone out of the West may just have to beat the Bucks when they meet them in the finals? Y'all let me know in the comment section what you think, how you feel about the NBA, if you think players are just cheating now and scared to compete, any of that, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for supporting. I love you guys, and I'm out of here.